Starfield just got a new patch, which is the beta patch 1.9.47, and today I'm going to be comparing it with the previous one, which is just a normal patch 1.8.88. So let's get right into it. I tested out 4 areas in the game, and I went ahead and tested out the performance only in this video. For the other things like FSR2 improvements and DLSS improvements, you can check out other videos, but I also made a little bit of observation on that point too. So let's head right into it for the first area, which is a Volai. And what happened in this area, actually, I saw some improvement, and I went through the settings. I used ultra settings maxed out at 1080p. I didn't use FSR at first, but without FSR2, we were getting like 3 FPS improvements overall. You could say that we got like close to 50 FPS, while with the new patch, which is the beta patch, still has not come out of beta, and the previous one, which was 1.8.88, it came out at about 47-48 FPS. You can see in the video. Now this footage actually you're seeing right here was recorded just to make a representation, and the actual numbers are actually these. We got about 50 FPS average with the new patch and 47 FPS average with the previous one, and you can also see that in the footage here. Then I went ahead and enabled FSR2, and that was at 67% resolution scaling. At that point, I thought that maybe there are some improvements with FSR2, which they actually mentioned in the patch notes, that they've bettered the resolution, bettered the quality of FSR2 and DLSS in this game. I tried to check those, but I couldn't find any from my side. Maybe from your side, if you guys have seen the improvements, and you can tell me in the comment section below. And please leave a like, guys, if you're enjoying this video right now. With FSR2 enabled, we got, let me roll through the footage here, we got about 62 FPS average with the new patch and 58 FPS average with the previous one. Then I went to a killer city, and in this city actually I didn't see much improvements actually, and the frame rate stayed the same. This is one of the CPU bound areas, and in most of the CPU bound areas I didn't see much improvements. I saw some decline in CPU usage actually in this area, which was kind of weird, and I did find that quite interesting, that in the new patch there are some improvements to the CPU usage. As you can see, the CPU temperature there, which I'm showing in the stats there, you can see 62 in the latest patch and 64 in the old one. So this is some minor adjustments in the CPU usage by the developers, but it's still welcoming. Then I went ahead and tested this area, which is a kind of a vegetation area. You can actually test it out from yourself. And in this area, I also saw some little improvements, like 1 FPS improvement overall. And as you guys can see here, we're overall getting like 1 to 2 FPS more than the previous patch, which is really welcoming and good by the developers. They're really making an effort and still trying to fix the game, even though it's been launched for like a few months now, and they're still trying to fix the game. That is really welcoming. Now, as you guys can see here, the averages come out at about 36 FPS average for both sides, but actual improvements in the gameplay are there. So in the new patch, you get some improvements while playing the game. Now with this one, when FSR2 is enabled, you get like 1 to 2 FPS more in each scene. Depending upon the scene, you get 1 to 2 FPS more, or none, depending upon the intensity of graphics on the screen. So you get like 1 to 2 FPS more. Right now I'm seeing like 43 FPS average towards the right and 42 FPS average towards the left. So yeah, but in the end we got 46 versus 44, 46-45 versus 44. Then I went ahead and I went into our base area, which is a very intensive, really intensive area, and I wanted to test this out the most. And what happened in this actually was I was getting like lower FPS in the latest patch, which was really weird. But after a while, maybe this was the game loading something, it actually became stable. And as you guys can see, it started to become in line with the previous one, and there were not much differences in this specific area. compared to the previous areas. There was some, I could see some stutters in the previous area which were not present in the new one, but I tested and I saw that the previous patch was kind of performing a little bit better, like 1 FPS more in this area. So there are some areas in the game with the new patch that are performing better, and some areas are not performing better and they're performing the worst compared to the new comparing the new patch to the previous one. In the end, we got, if I roll through the footage right here, we got 37 in the previous patch and 36 in the new one. When I enabled FSR2, I wanted to see if there's a difference in performance with FSR2 in this area, because this area is also very dependent on the CPU. Although not much CPU bound in my scenario, as I'm using a Ryzen 5 3600 and 16GB of DDR4 3200MHz RAM and an RX 600, which you can see on the screen. But I still saw that with the previous patch, we were getting somewhat more performance. And as you can see right here, so in the end you saw that we got about 41 FPS average in the old one and 40 FPS average in the new one. Now this patch has actually not released till to the general public, and you have to go to the beta branch of the game on Steam to actually be able to play this patch. But I would still recommend you guys to go ahead and check it out. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and click this video if you want to watch more videos from my